Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Beyond the Barclay with me, Jez Davies. And of course, I'm joined with my illustrious co-host, Morgan Hewitt. Hi, Morgan. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Back to illustrious, is it today?
Yeah, I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, to be fair. I mean, you're either the coolest man in Dereham or the illustrious co-host. So
okay, I'll take it.
I think of some more stuff for the end of the season, no doubt. But I am absolutely delighted to announce that today we're joined with Sue Quantrill, who was Fan of the Year last year. I'm going to, sorry, Sue, I'm going to hand over to you straight away just to introduce yourself and just obviously talk a little bit about yourself, what you do for Norwich City, and perhaps how long you supported Norwich for.
Okay, on and off Norwich since probably when I was 15 and found you could get into the back of the Barclay at half time free of charge. Was the first, so it shows how old I am, the fact that you could actually do that. But
5 years ago.
Yeah, oh yeah, thank you. Then seriously, when I was working, I actually had quite a sort of illustrious start. That one of my members of staff, her father was one of the directors, so she wanted an afternoon off work to go and watch Norwich at Nottingham. And so I was sort of like, okay. And she said, well, Dad's got a spare seat if you want to come too. So my first few games were actually in the director's box.
Wow.
And actually the Nottingham game, it was when the boardroom, women weren't allowed in. So Delia and Etty, Claire and I were all in a separate room to the side and everything. So many years ago, and things have changed now, thank goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really sort of valid point, particularly after the Women's Euros win at the weekend. I suppose I know you're a fan of the women's side as well. So did you watch that game? And I mean, how did you celebrate when Chloe Kelly scored that winning penalty?
Well, I was actually on holiday with my family, all at Potter's at Hopton. It was a weekend that we went away, so we were actually watching it on the big screen. And everything. And I actually recorded. I was summing and I'm whether to record it when Chloe was going to take her penalty because I didn't want to jinx it. But I did, to show all the actual crowd and Potters all singing up and dancing and everything. And then got a little video of my little great nephew who's just come up for 2 with his England flag, waving it away. And when his dad kept him to wave at the screen, he thought he meant with his hand. So he was just waving with his hand instead.
Oh, bless him.
But no, it's absolutely brilliant. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, having been to Potters quite some years ago, actually now, and all the entertainment team there, they're brilliant. Was it Busby? I remember. Was he called Busby? And anyway, some of the entertainment team.
Yes, they're really good. He actually had a stroke a couple of years ago. They raised a lot of money, but he still comes in now and he is progressing, so it's great.
Amazing. No, there's a really good centre and a really good holiday destination, should I say, and particularly if you're into your bowls, it's massive, isn't it? Because that's where they hold the World Championship, isn't it, at Potters?
Yeah, that's what all the rest of the family are into, bowls, apart from me, and I'm the only one that isn't. So
my granddad was an avid bowls fan. He was quite hot with the old bowls, I think. He used it to sometimes meet the ladies in his later years. So
amazing.
Each their own, aren't they? So
we'll see. I mean, as I say, the last time before we came on, the last time me and you spoke was outside the forum. And sorry to shamelessly plug our YouTube channel, but that video of me and you having a chat about the CSF is available on YouTube if anyone would like to watch it, or just continue watching us for the next however long we speak. But no, thank you. Well, thank you first and foremost for having that chat then. But since then, obviously, you've been on a bit of a journey. So, I mean, first off, congratulations for being awarded the Fan of the Season for last season. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit on how your journey with that with the Community Sports Foundation began.
Yeah, well, it all started back in August 2022 when Ronnie, Martin, Teresa and I were approached by the project manager at the time from the Community Sports Foundation about setting up a new group, a dementia group called Duncan's Club, and it was after Duncan Forbes, the footballer. And the first session we had was on the 29th of September 2022. And from there, it's just rolled on and on. And until I'd actually done Duncan's Club, I'd only ever really known of the Community Sports Foundation as being soccer schools, because that's what it was the one place I could get rid of my son in the summer holiday for a week at least and have the peace and quiet. So I didn't realise exactly how much was involved there, how much it did for the community. The following May, we then decided, the group, to do the coastal walk to raise funds for Community Sports Foundation, specifically Duncan's Club. I always remember Nicole was doing it, and she was doing the 13 miles. But I said, no, 13's easy. Come on, we can all do the 26 miles, which I don't think she's ever really forgiven me for, making me do 26 miles. But we did, and that got me into dealing with the events team and everything. So then I started volunteering, because I wasn't going to walk the 26 miles again, and started volunteering with different events. From there, 2 of the young girls that are on the Realising Potential courses and other things with the Community Sports Foundation, they came along and volunteered at Duncan's Club. And so last year they were a bit concerned because Ellie, who used to run the disability dance group, was leaving, and they thought their dancing was going to finish. So I was like, oh, I'll come and help out there. Don't worry, I enjoy dancing. Wasn't quite sure what the dancing was going to entail, but it is so much fun with all of them. So now, and not only my Duncan's Club every week, I'm the disability dance as well, and any of the events. So anyone, don't know when this is going to go out, but what we've got on Sunday is Lap Lotus, which is another family fun day. So I'll be volunteering there as well.
No, that's brilliant. And it will probably go out after that, but we can certainly get it for you on our social media channels. So yeah, please send me the details of that. I've forwarded you my number. So yeah, if you can, just WhatsApp me the details, and I'll put those for you. But no, that sounds brilliant. Maybe we did speak to Ronnie previously about Duncan's Club, didn't we, Morgan? But maybe if we start with that briefly, and it's such a great incentive. And I mean, to maybe just talk to us a little bit more about that, and how many members you've got now, and at what level are they helped with with these sessions?
Yes, well, we started off just with the 1 session. We've now got 2 sessions, and it can vary the numbers. Obviously, the nature of it all, we have lost some of our members along the way. I still keep in contact with all of the partners that no longer come along to Duncan's Club, and we still do socials, and they still come along, and I meet up for coffee with them as well. I think I wasn't there obviously last Thursday, but the Thursday before, I think in combining the 2 sessions, there was nearly 60 people there, which is the carers as well as those that are suffering. I'm very much like to make sure that the carers are okay, having experienced dementia in the family, both with my mother and then my father. It was being aware of what my father was going through at the time, and intervening, because at the end of the day, with a lot of them, they're couples that have been together for years and years, and the hard decisions is sometimes if they have to go into residential care, that you feel, as I always say to them, their head knows what they're doing the right thing for the care, but the heart finds it really, really difficult. A lot of them still can then come along to Duncan's Club, which they do. With Duncan's Club, it's like 3 parts to the session. There's the reminiscing with a bit of music in, exercise, which the CSF have actually put me on a course so I can do the chair exercise with them and everything, and the social side as well. So it's combining. I mean, last week, a new thing that we introduced was play your cards right, to get them to have. So it's sort of trying to find different things, because we've got people at all different ways in their journey, sort of thing. You've got those that can follow all of the reminiscence bit, whereas you might have some of the others that might turn around and say, well, he's going on a bit, and what's he talking about, sort of thing. So it's trying to engage everybody and keep everyone happy in that. And they just put a smile on your face, because the comments that some of them come out with just makes you laugh. So, but that is how we are now. I mean, last Christmas. Sorry.
I'd like to say, do you have any contact with any other sort of groups like that in other football clubs, or is it just solely Duncan's
No,
club?
we did have someone from the Football Association a year or so ago come out just to see what we were doing.
Yeah.
And that now, whether the Community Sports Foundation have contact with them, but I personally, and I don't think Ronnie or Martin or anyone does as such, but I did say to them then that when they came out, I said, well, Ronnie and I go to all the away games, so if you want us to come and meet anybody, you know where we'll be, sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So just left it like that.
Because I think it's a fantastic incentive for other football clubs. I mean, we obviously do another side to Beyond the Barclay where we talk to rival fans. My uncle went through dementia. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he was a Chelsea fan. So that's kind of why I asked, because I just wondered if there was that that network across the UK with these different clubs, because I think it is such a unique and really interesting part of the CSF that word should really be spread, I think.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I am involved with other dementia groups in Norfolk, and that's what I always make sure is any new people, or even those that do attend ours, that I have the leaflets to give them details for other groups. Most of them are monthly ones, but just because a lot of the time for the carers, it's just actually getting out and meeting with different people and everything. I also do a lot of signposting for Alzheimer's Society, that I volunteer for that as well, but only for the events, because I've just run out of time to fit more in, sort of thing. So I do try and make sure that everybody can deal, because I used to help with the Taverham dementia group, and someone came along, but Duncan's Club wasn't the right fit for them, because it might be that they're more into craft kind of things, quieter sessions and that. So it's finding what suits them and what is available for the carers as well.
No, definitely.
Just on the carer side of things, because I mean, how does Duncan's Club support the carer side? Because obviously you have those with dementia, and I think sometimes the carer side of things cannot be forgotten, but it can be kind of like, I don't want to use the word afterthought, but how do you maintain relationships with carers? What do you put in place to look after them?
With most of them, as they come in, when they first join the group, I always have a chat with them. I always have got my tissues with me. When they walk in the door, the first thing I always do is always say, how are you? Not necessarily, it's the carers that I'm the one, how are you? And if they're like, oh, I'm like, right, when they start the session, come and find me. We'll go and sit in, as I call it, the conservatory part down at the Nest. So we're still in the same room, but it's basically just listening to them, just having someone to listen to what they want to say, and giving not necessarily advice, because I'm not an expert on it, but one time one of the ladies said her son just didn't get it. And I just said, well, do you think it might be that that's his dad and he doesn't want to accept it because he's always looked up to his dad? Another lady, I remember her husband did what they call the sundown. As the day gets longer and everything in the evening, then quite often you find that the dementia can actually get worse. So it was like he would have tea, sit down with you and say, right, I'm going home now. And the more she tried to explain he was home, the more he got agitated. And I can remember doing exactly the same with my mum, because when my mum, she had a stroke and then it's ended up with a bit of Alzheimer's. At the same time, my father had cancer and was having an operation. So my sister was looking after dad in hospital, and I was explaining to mum I couldn't take her. And I was going, well, we could video call him. I don't want to bloody video call him. And by the time my sister got back to where I was with mum, in those days I smoked. I was up the top of the garden going, I'll kill her, because it just, I didn't understand at that point the way to do it. So with this particular carer, I just said, well, I don't know whether it would work, but you could try just walking him around the block and back in the house, and he might think that he's actually arrived home. And I said, if not, ring Alzheimer's Society. That's what they're there for, to give you the advice and guidance, because it is what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, obviously something that's hit my family sort of 10, 15 years ago, and it's horrible, isn't it? Sort of watching someone that you care and love for, that they sort of almost fade away. And but I think that's why it's such an important thing that what you and yourself, Sue, and Ronnie, and sorry, I forget the other lady's name,
and Nicole and Teresa,
Nicole, and all of the people that are within your group. Is so important. And I think not that you're not going to keep doing it, but please keep doing it. And me and Morgan would love to come down and perhaps if it's appropriate, come and cover it a little bit more, and maybe do a video and really showcase what it's all about, and really spread the word even further than it already has been. So but yeah, 100%. So no, thank you once again. Morgan, it might be time for us to
sure. So second question, you sort of touched on it briefly. I have the questions on another screen. I'm not paying attention. It's just
fine. My notes are down on the side here.
I'm so pro. So what motivates you to give your time and energy to volunteer with CSF, week after week? You mentioned there your time is what motivates you?
I think originally I took early retirement from work to look after my father, help my sister look after my father who had dementia. And that was at the time when we also started Duncan's Club. So that was fine, just doing that. Dad passed away 2 years ago. And it's one of those silly ones that I say, and those who know people that have had dementia will understand that I was lucky that he passed away from cancer, because I still had my dad there to say cheerio to. Obviously, it's still horrible that it's cancer as well, sort of thing. But it was a case of, after finishing work, I miss work. I don't miss the job, and I don't miss the stress of the job, but I like being out and about and doing things. I'm afraid if you give me 3 days and I've got nothing on, it'll be, well, I could do the housework tomorrow, or I can do it the following day. And so it's something that gets me out, up and about, and actually involved with everything. And as you can probably tell, I enjoy talking and I enjoy being with people. So, I mean, I was always front-facing customer service in my actual work and everything. And that is something that I just enjoy. And if I can help anybody, then that just, for me, that is enough. And that just to know that someone else has got someone there just to talk to, whether it's Duncan's Club, whether it's with a disability dance, seeing their faces, it's just enjoying it. So.
Do you think sorry, Morgan. I know that you mentioned before that I don't know, the vibe I get from you is that you're sort of a little bit uncomfortable with the notion of fan of the year. But do you think it would have been fairer to give you guys as a group, those who are involved in that side of things, fan of the year as a collective?
It's more. It was such a shock, to be nominated. Knowing those that have nominated me was enough, and because that just meant so much to me. I don't think I'm special. I think there's lots of people out there. Okay, not everybody can afford to go to all of the home and away games for the men, and I do all of the ladies at home and the majority of the away for the ladies. From that point of view, no, but it's only because I can afford to now. So that to me doesn't make me special, because I can afford to do something. And there's so many people out there that do good things for so many causes and everything. So I think that's where I'm coming from, that, I'm not special, that there are so many people out there that are part of the football club that actually are doing wonderful things too. So that's where I find it uncomfortable, that, I'm sort of getting, and I always remember in the same way saying, this is outside of my comfort zone now. I can remember when they were telling me about going out on the pitch, point a camera at me, and I hate it. I really do. I actually said to Tash Snelling, who won the women's football of the season, I said, I saw you were talking to Sarah outside. I said, Sue Quantrill, I nearly said to her, do you want to go in and get presented with the prize? Because that's just not me. I'd rather be in the background rather than on a camera. So.
And did you... sorry, Morgan. No, all I was going to say is, so just before Morgan asks the next question, you, and I don't think I've told Morgan this, but as part of your prize, perhaps talk to us about that experience you had in Holland with the players, and how that all come about, and what happened on the trip. We want to know what happened.
No, what happened in Holland stays in Holland. Sorry. You can see the touristy photos, Jez, on my Facebook page. I know you can, sort of thing. To be honest, I didn't take any photos of any of the players apart from the ones that are actually on there. Again, it was, and can I just say to Elliot from the football club, thank you so much. It must be for him like taking your mother on holiday. Honestly, I did say that to him, but everybody the whole time was so brilliant with all of it. But when he rang me to say, it was just sort of, again, completely out of the blue, do you go away to pre-season? I said, no, I've never done pre-season. And it was then, well, would you like to? And that you'll be staying in the same hotel as the players and everything. And I was like, oh. And the whole time, all of the staff, the only thing they didn't manage to get me to do was go on a bike. Because I said, if they could provide a 3-wheeler for me, fine. But the last bike I rode only had 3 gears.
Right.
I did get offered by some of the staff that I could sit on the saddle and they'd pedal me back from the village when I'd walked. And I was like, no, I think I'll carry on walking. But no, everyone was just so lovely.
That's amazing. And what a great prize as well. Sorry, Morgan, I interrupted you.
No, not at all. I was just saying, so just out of interest, do you not know how to ride a bike?
I do, but it's been so many years since the last time I probably rode a bike was before my husband passed away.
Right.
And we decided that he had a bike for work. And I said, I wouldn't mind a bike. So we went to Anglia Square and there was a bike shop. And we bought a bike and they said, ride it round just Anglia Square, see if the saddle's right. I said, that's fine. So then I had to ride the bike. I was only at Sproston Road, but there was so much more traffic on the road than when I last rode a bike. And we got back and I said, no, the saddle's not right. So my husband was moaning and groaning and adjusted it. And we were going round our friends. Well, then I got on the bike, went to push off. The saddle went one way with me on it and the handlebars the other. And I ended up in a rose.
Oh, no.
So then when he fixed it, he turned around and said, you know your problem. He said, you don't relax on a bike. And I'm like, how can I relax when that's just happened? And I think I rode the bike twice after that, and that was it. So, so I do know how to ride one, but that was many, many years ago.
I love that trauma. So just to shock you further, Sue, I ride a bike. I rode a bike. So I lived in London for 18 years. So I used to ride a bike in London. I used to ride a single speed. Still got it in London through all the traffic. It's actually less scary riding a bike in London than it is in Norfolk, because drivers in Norfolk aren't used to people riding bikes. So anyway, I love those little anecdotes, Jez, when we go on these little tangents.
I can imagine you're on one of those penny farthings, Morgan. I don't know why.
How would I get in the saddle?
I don't know. I think I might have to give you a lift up, I suppose. But I just imagine you riding one of those penny farthings around the middle of Carrow Road or something. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, carry on. I say carry on. It's my question, isn't it?
It's your question.
Yeah. Okay. Sue, are there any particular projects or moments during your time volunteering that really stand out, or have been especially meaningful to you?
I think there's quite a few actually, but I think anyone that's watched the Dunkers Club video will have seen Michael's story and will know about Michael's story. I still see Mary because unfortunately Michael passed away and everything, but also Keith, who again has passed away. I remember he wanted to play table tennis and his mobility wasn't very good, but Tim managed to get him up to the table and stood behind him. And his wife walked in and she just couldn't believe it. And just seeing her face, she said, he has been on and on about doing that for so long, and you've actually got him doing it. So it was just nice to know that what he wanted, we managed to achieve. With the coastal walk, the second year when I was volunteering, there's a lovely young lady called Hope that did the 6 mile walk with her family. and I was with them doing their walk and supporting. And it was just seeing that it turned out she'd come out of hospital 2 days before, but she was determined to do that walk. And seeing her family, her father, her brother, her sister, the encouragement and the family joking of, I'm your best sibling, aren't I? And things like that, that got around to then find out 2 days later she was back in hospital. And that the sheer determination. And then Reese, who comes to disability dance, like I say, I never expected to be doing Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminals dance. And I kept getting my foot wrong at the beginning. So Reese, who's only 13, got his dad to video him doing the whole dance. And at the end, it was for me to see. And at the end, he went, "See, Sue, you just follow me," sort of thing. And that just touched my heart. It really did, sort of thing. So, and that's just a few. That's why it is just so lovely doing for the Community Sports Foundation. And that I get back as much as what I give, and probably even more.
No, it's amazing. I think we are speaking to Ian Thornton next week, actually. And I only know, and you mentioned it earlier about the soccer schools. I only know Ian through those soccer schools, and I met him as a youngster, and I was between the ages of sort of 8 and 12, and obviously not kept in touch as such, but obviously kept in touch through his career, and seen what he's taken the footballing community as it was back in the early 2000s to what it is today. It's just phenomenal, and it's because of people like yourself and that have gone in there and given the people that you've just described their time. And I always remember a gentleman by the name of Ben Parkin, who was he had muscular dystrophy, and he was part of the power wheelchair football team, and the what that brought to him in terms of his sort of social development, the fact that he could still do some form of football, that teamwork, morale, and everything. And unfortunately, muscular dystrophy is a type of disease which is it's a short life disease, and he sadly passed away at the early 20s, I believe. But it really is such a massive community asset, the Community Sports Foundation, and long may it continue, and I hope it does, and that we're really pushing it hard. Obviously, Morgan, touch upon the on the stall stuff that we did a few weeks ago.
So for me, when we came, we met you, Sue, outside the forum back in March, I think, at the Collectors Fair,
and you bought raffle tickets.
I did. Yes. I actually did. I didn't win.
Did I win? No, did I win? No. I never got the phone call.
Sorry.
I'm still waiting. But I think I've been on the stall a few times and chatted to Andy, Sharon, and Jacob, and I love it. I mean, I love going in there now because it's just I can't get out of there within you go in for 5 minutes, you're there for about an hour, just standing there chatting about football. But I think for me, I was like, well, what I would really like to do, and I think Andy mentioned a few times that he really wants to push the notion of it being a community shop, and that they do outreach at the forum and they do different events, but it is a community shop. It isn't the official shop. It isn't anything like that. And I think that I was like, well, why don't we sort of do a video and film, interview Andy and family, and kind of stress what it is that they do, so people can understand what it is they do, and also the great events that they put on, like the Subbuteo tournament and obviously the Collectors Fair, and just how much that gives back to football fans and football culture. So I think me and Jez, and it is a kind of a bit of a sticking point for us, is that the Community Sports Foundation is it exists, but like you said earlier on, I just thought it was like a football schooling kind of thing. So I think it's really important, for the message to kind of get spread about what it actually is, what it actually does, what initiatives are there, how to get involved, and who also feeds into that. On the stall, those guys have been raising money and for the CSF for years, and they do it out they volunteer, they don't get paid for that, you know. Right. So I just thought, well, it's a story, and me and Jez we always say this, but this whole project with Beyond the Buck is a bit of a selfish thing for us, because we just get to talk to fans about their lives and their journeys and spread the word that way. And I think that it's just really good to hear people's different journeys, really, with this, all against the backdrop of a football club.
Yeah. And with Andy, and then we're already thinking about this Christmas for Duncan's Club. And what we try and do is just get a little present for each of them. So Ronnie and I have sourced the presents already for the carers. I'm not going to say what we've got, but something we've done for that. So we were trying to think, because we wanted it to be something football, because it's Duncan's Club and everything. And Andy, bless him, has donated 50 presents for us to use for Duncan's Club. And when he said, the classic bit is, though, and this is the bit that he said, well, just check with Ronnie to make sure, because I was the one that was asking, but just check with Ronnie to make sure he's happy. And I was like, okay, we will.
Yeah, bless him. No, 100%. I think it's time for the next one. More going.
Sure. So how do you feel that your work with CSF has impacted the local community? And you've already touched upon it, but if you kind of unpack perhaps in your own life personally.
Well, I think I've more or less said what it does for me in my own life, and I get far more reward back for them. How I've impacted on the community, it's a difficult one for me to actually answer, because it needs to be the people from the community to answer that sort of thing.
Of course.
The only thing I will laugh and say is, once they knew that I'd been put forward for Fan of the Season, Ronnie we have a WhatsApp group that we set up for those that could do the WhatsApp. So it went into the WhatsApp group. So I was going to have I don't know whether Monarch actually flies to Norwich Airport, to be fair, but they wanted Monarch to have a Vote for Sue flag coming from behind the aeroplane, a banner on the Norwich Castle and everything. And they just make you smile so much. That they always tell us they're grateful and thank us all for what we do. But it's not just me, it's all of us. Yeah. We've now got a lovely team, because we've got extra, there's Alison, there's Gaynor, there's Rick, as well as the originals that are there. We've even had some work experience come to us and asked if they could come back and be with Duncan's Club in the summer. So they're now volunteering with us, which we do get evicted because of the children and soccer schools, but we're at the cricket club then in the summer. But it is just such a lovely place. Everybody that comes, I think, really does see what the difference is. So you'll have to come along. You'll have to check with Ian and everything regarding recording and things like that. But by all means, you're more than welcome just to come and sit with us, as long as you do the chair exercises, though.
Oh, 100%. That's why I'm coming. Well, yeah.
We had the team from Football Against Dementia that they came. They'd come for something else and they sat in there. And when they left, it was halfway through my chair exercise. So one of them did actually email me and said, I remember Tummy In. He said, I'm now on YouTube looking up the chair exercise classes to do.
Yeah, no, make sure that will be the sole purpose of my visit. No, of course it won't. I'm joking, but no, it's.
I think that the sort of the vibe I get from what you said is, you just do the work, and it has a subtle impact that's long lasting. You know, you're not looking for accolades. You just do it because you want to do it and you want to give something back. And I think that, like Jez said earlier, the work you do is so important and echoes that sort of sentiment about raising awareness of the CSF as a whole. Yeah. So although you're not standing outside with waving a flag going, this is what we do, it gradually, incrementally spreads that message.
That's it. One of the things that we said about the Healthy Fans Club, Tim, who works for CSF, and Dan, who does it as well with me. Last year, we had all the different charities and that have different stalls with us each week and different things. And Tim came up with a really good point. Well, why are we not advertising what we actually do? Why are we not having the Powerball people, the wheelchairs there, so people can see, so we can explain? It's like giving people leaflets or talking to them saying, and a QR code and things like that. But actually having the disability dancers there, just doing a little routine, or even some from Duncan's Club. I mean, some of them, they'll quite happily talk to anybody that happens, but it just then gets it more so people understand it a bit more as to exactly what, because unless you've been to the Nest and been on a day when there are all the activities, you wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and that's what I hope that we get to showcase, Jez. I mean, that's part of our remit, our remit that we decided to impose on ourselves. But but I think again, it goes hand in hand with just raising the awareness because there are people out. When we spoke to Ronnie earlier in the year, it's a bit of a tearjerker at that episode, and I think both me and Jez would try to like choke back the tears a little bit. But I think it was one that sort of really sort of hit home about just how important the work is that you do for those people who have dementia in the family, because it's like cancer, you know, in dementia, like it isn't just the carers or it isn't just the individual that has the you know the issue. It also has an impact on the family. It has an impact on the friends. It's you know, these things are insidious, and if there's something there that you can, if there's support in there that you can help and just give that little bit of respite to the families and friends, then that's, you know, that's absolutely fantastic.
That's it. Some people actually lose friends because friends don't know how to deal with it. And all of them, they've all got, those that want it have got my number. And I always say to them, just ring if you want to chat, a rant, because sometimes it's easier talking to someone outside of the family because you don't want to raise your thoughts and concerns to upset your children or someone else, your sister or anything. And that, so I always say, I'm always there and everything. That I remember after my mum passed away, my dad, because I lost my husband coming up for 20 years ago, and that from a brain tumour. And my dad, when mum died, said, I now know what you went through. And I went, no, Dad, it's completely different. I had work. I had an 8-year-old son to look after. So I had other things. You were 24/7 looking after mum. So your whole world has completely changed now. And that's what I sort of think. And that it's just having someone there is the way that I look at it.
Of course. And I think as well, I think you're right. You mentioned about the family, and I think the way I've always seen it, you know, I've had those sort of moments in my life. So when my dad died when I was 2009, so we're getting on for 20 years ago now with lung cancer. And you're right. It's the people on the outside of the family that, not the biggest support. I don't mean like that. Obviously, the family are the support, but can kind of look at it through a different lens. And I think sometimes that's so important, and to have that kind of neutral advice, support, anything else that, you know, they can give either professionally or just as a friend, it's so important. And you know, that's why the work that you do, the work that you know other people in the CSC do is phenomenal. And you know, I'm going to keep saying it. Thank you. Thank you for doing it. And, you know, we're so thrilled to have you on, and, you know, we can see why you were awarded the award you have been awarded. So yeah, don't ever, not that you do, but don't ever belittle that, because it's really, it's great. I guess perhaps moving on then, what would you say to anyone that would like to get involved with the CSF, and, you know, what advice would you give them?
Do it. You'll just love it. I mean, our latest volunteer with us is Dawn, and she's thoroughly enjoying it. I meet different people at different times, because with the My Club, which is what you actually sign up for, you can choose what you do. You don't have to be like me doing so many different things. It could just be doing one event. And I've made so many friends through either the different sessions I do and even the events. I mean, one of my friends, Lou, I only see her about once or twice a year when we do the coastal walk or the race against the sun sort of thing. But it's just lovely that everyone is so welcoming and so helpful, and that I'm not one that can do a lot of the, I mean, when they're walking 47 miles, some of the volunteers, and I was listening to them and I'm going, I'm just there to give the thumbs up and you're doing well. I said, but by all means tell me to go away if you don't want me to. And they were like, no, that's fine. We needed that as much when we're getting to that mental breakdown sort of thing. So there's a role for everybody, and that you don't have to be young, fit, you could be old like me, whatever sort of thing. But there's always something for everybody to do, and you will always be welcome and you will love it. You really will.
How do you sign up? How do you get involved? How do you sign up? What's the actual process, physical process?
If you go onto the Community Sports Foundation website and look in volunteering, there's what they call My Club, and you just put in your details and they get passed to Jenna, who's in charge of all the volunteers, and you get a newsletter, sort of, I think it's monthly and that, but every so often they'll give you a newsletter with all the different events that are on, and you just click and just sign to say whether you want to do any of them. And it might be that you can do it for an hour, half a day, a whole day, depending what the events are. And so it is great that you can actually choose. So there's things during the week, there's things in the evening, and there's also the things at weekends. So it really fits in whatever you want to do. So
yeah, that's great. I actually signed up to help out with Run Norwich. You
didn't run Norwich, are you?
I'm not going to run it, no.
I'm definitely. I'm just a volunteer, and that's.
I'm gonna. Yeah, my friend Woody, who often gets a mention on this podcast, who's never been on. He put me. He messaged me about it, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll help out at that side, that sort of thing, because I like doing that kind of like live event, helping out, like set things up, pack things down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be there. Not running, but I will help.
No, I won't. The first year they were a bit silly. They let me loose with a megaphone.
Oh
no! I was on the finishing line, and when they said that, as those of us on the finishing line, if anyone looks like they're going to fall, you catch them and help them. So some of us had the megaphones to tell them where to go to get the drinks and the medals and everything. Yeah. So I worked up very quickly that if I stood under the clock tower, I was right next to the paramedics. So if anyone went to fall, the paramedics were there. And I still remember with my megaphone going, well done, round the corner. And this one gentleman came towards me and I went, because he'd fallen on Rose Lane and his nose and everything was all cut.
Oh, no.
And I went, oh dear, all with a megaphone still. I think you're going this way.
Blimey.
At least you said that and not like, oh, your nose is in the wrong shape at the moment. It was like halfway across your face on the megaphone. Yeah, amazing. Oh, no, that's brilliant. And I didn't realise you'd signed up for that, Morgan. So yeah,
I kept that quiet, didn't I?
You did, yeah, because you knew that I'd be on it. You had to do some filming on the event. Yeah.
He won't have time. He won't have time to film. No,
of course. He'll be too busy watching the runners and giving everyone the round of applause. Come on, guys, like they do at Park Run. I've done part one all the ones.
If you want to look out for him, he'll be the one in the orange volunteer shirt. Which we all are.
Pro. Viz.
You'll have to dye the front of your quiff orange as well, just so you're coordinated.
I'm not going to do that. See, this is the kind of thing I have to deal with, Sue, on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Imagine running
a podcast with this person.
Oh dear, there we go. Right, last question, I think, Morgan. Before we go, unless you want me to do it. It is me, because we've got the random question of the week to come, haven't we? I didn't tell you about that, did I? Say?
No, you didn't.
Well, just you wait. It's an absolute joy. I haven't heard what the question is, but it's always a blinder. So yeah, let's just let you pay for that. Anyway, so lastly, how does it feel to be recognised not just for the support of the club, but also for the difference you've made off the pitch?
Like I say, it was a shock, but it was a real honour, and that a thank you would do, and that. But like I say, I'd never in a million years would have expected to be nominated, let alone to actually win, and that. And the whole way through, like I say, Community Sports Foundation, the football club, I can't say enough about them to thank them for all that they've done over the last year and since winning the award and everything. Must admit the award is quite good for doing weights because it's very, very heavy to lift up and down. But no,
have you got it with you that you can show us?
That's behind me. Hang on, I'll get it for you.
Go and get it first. We want to see.
Plus, I was desperate to see what number was on that shirt, so I've seen now. So
I don't know whether you can see it because I don't know whether it'll actually come
out. Amazing!
That's brilliant. Yeah,
that's so cool.
So, and that was really, it was really, really heavy.
They've done a good job. They've done a good job there.
Yeah, when they were doing the photographs, then Paul, who does the away games, kept shouting at me, "Lift it higher, Sue. Look at me, you know me." And I'm going, "I can't lift it any higher," sort of thing.
I was expecting it to be like, do you remember back in the day, Jez, when you'd get those trophies at football, like it had that marble bottom and like the gold plastic?
I know exactly the one you mean. Funny enough, the majority of those I got at the CSF or community FICC soccer schools. So yeah, that's nice to know.
They've actually done themselves proud there, haven't they?
It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. So
definitely.
I didn't expect anything else. I just, I thought that was it, sort of thing. So, like I say, to then go away on the tour was absolutely brilliant. So.
No, it's truly amazing, and I think I think obviously we spoke to Killian. He's part of the team, but when we did his podcast, he said that his surprise was that Darren Eadie picked him up in a Lotus Elise, and they drove into the training ground in this Lotus. So. Yeah, it's nice that they not only, as you say, give you the trophy and there's something that you can cherish and keep forever, but to have that experience as well is absolutely superb. And great. Did you fly from Norwich Airport?
We did. Yeah.
Well, that's handy, isn't it, as well? So yeah.
I felt sorry for the poor operations team because we were supposed to be on the morning flight, which got cancelled. So where we were all going to meet at the airport, suddenly was getting messages. And of course, it was before they could actually get through to the travel agents and was trying to reorganise what flight we had. Okay. So bless them, they were fantastic. That they really did. They really worked hard and deserved it. As we laughed and said, people might think for the staff it was all right that they were going away on a holiday, but I can assure you they were all working extremely hard while they were over there and everything. So.
I do. I liken that. I mean, my current job, I've been to Malta quite frequently because we've got a site over there. And every time I say to my wife, I'm working, I am. I'm not sat on the beach with a cocktail. I am there to work, and it's a concept that people, if people do work abroad, I'm sure they can get. But it's it's different. It's different. But it's I've just turned my camera off. I've put myself back on. But no, it's really good. Thank you so much once again for coming on. It's been a pleasure to speak to you for longer than 5 minutes like we did outside the forum. So, it's been great. Is there anyone you want to give a little shout out to before we hand over to Morgan for the last question?
It's mainly probably all from the Community Sports Foundation. Anybody that sounded like a speech I was then going to do was anybody that knows. You know what I mean? They're useless to anything like this. But
you've been great.
To Sheila, Ronnie's wife, I hope she's on the mend pretty soon and everything. But no, to everybody from Duncan's Club, Community Sports Foundation, Disability Dance, and thank you to them and to you for having me on here. So thank you.
You've been a superstar, and thanks for putting up with us filming you outside the forum that day with Jez. So again, it works both ways.
I know that actually my family cracked up with it because again, where I was nervous, it was just and I think Jez went to say something, and I even cut you off. Yes, that's right, sort of thing. My sister said, "Were you going to let anybody else talk?" And I went, "I know, that's why I just don't like doing." And there was a little bit of that on the last night on tour. That's all I'm going to say. So to Johnny, Rachel, and the others that were there at the time, I am so sorry. They'll know what that's as much as I'm going to say. That was me embarrassing myself then with them. So
I'm just envisioning you like dancing on a table or something like.
No.
Okay.
It was verbal diarrhea. It was verbal diarrhea.
Okay, fair enough. But no, I'd put you at ease because that was my first. The interview we did outside the forum was my first face-to-face. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Morgan, but I'm pretty sure it is. That was my first ever face-to-face interview on camera. I don't think I've done one. Well, I don't think I've done one before that because we've always done audio, haven't we? So we've always done the audio where it's like we are now. I've never done it where we're face-to-face with another person. So I was as nervous as you, Sue. So so don't worry about that. we brought each other through it, I thought. So yeah, no,
he's not too bad. He's getting better.
Yeah.
When we were in the on the stall, Jez was waving the notepad around, and I was concerned that he might take Sharon's head off with a paper cut.
Yeah.
I'm like, chill out, mate. Chill out with the podcast.
Right, Morgan, turn your chair around. Let's have this random question of the week, please.
So I have to turn my chair around, Sue, because otherwise I get in trouble. It adds momentum. Random question of the week. It's a two-parter. But you didn't see that one coming, did you, Jez? Oh, no.
No, I didn't.
So one part of it is going to be kind of quite serious, but the other part is going to be, I'm hoping I get my own way. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, if you could walk anywhere in the world, where would it be and how many miles would it be?
Yeah, I don't think so. I wasn't sure if the camera had frozen, so I just wanted to check you're still with us.
I am. I was just like, oh, I don't know. Where would it be? How many miles? Oh, that is such a random question. I'm trying to think of somewhere where I'd know how many miles it would be, even. So,
how many miles would you enjoy?
How many miles would I enjoy? What, walking in one go? Would it be?
Yeah, but you can have a little break here and there.
Well, if I'm only walking how many miles I could actually enjoy, then I'd probably say Whitlingham, and that's because I know I can walk there, and I have walked there and walked back around the lake. So
Where are you based? Where are you based in Norwich? Just to give the reference.
I'm Sproston.
Okay, so yeah, it's quite a distance still. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh, lovely.
What about you, Jez?
I would. I'd a little bit more thinking time than I usually do. But I would. Sorry, Sue.
Well, I wasn't sure whether the question was to me or to you. That was why I was quiet.
Okay.
I hope it's to you that you were going to answer.
No, it's always to the guest.
Yeah. I would do. Do you know what? And it's probably going to be quite a boring answer, but I would do the walk. And I think people have done it. Is the walk along the Norfolk coast, and I've never done it. And I think people, I think they start in. You're gonna have to correct me here, Sue, if I'm wrong, but Hunstanton to Great Yarmouth, I think, is the walk, isn't it? And that's the pretty much the Norfolk. Yeah, the whole walk, and I'd do that because I just think it would be such an achievement, and B, it would just be beautiful, wouldn't it? Just be beautiful to sort of take in all the sights and stuff, and yeah, that would be my answer. Morgan, what about yourself?
I didn't even think about this. That you'd.
Well, you asked the question, so you've had
come on, Morgan.
time to think of it.
What am I doing with my life? I can't think. Okay, so I'm going to go out on a left field limb and say, in Japan, there's an island called Shikoku, and on this island, in the middle of this like jungle area, is this town where people have left or passed away or whatever, but there's an resident artist there who makes up like life-size dolls of people who've left the town. So that's where I would want to have a little walk through the town and around that area just to see what it's all like. I just think it's a really cool thing.
Okay. Interesting.
That's that.
And what was the second question?
So the second one, Sue, where is the ultimate in Norfolk? Where is your ultimate fish and chip shop choice?
Ooh, in Norfolk.
It has to be in Norfolk.
Okay. I would probably choose Mary Jane's.
Yes, get in. Yes. Come on, Sue. Come on.
Was that not the right answer?
It was very much the right answer. That is superb. That's made my day. That, Sue. If I could award you fan of the year for 2026, that's what's got it. Honestly, superb.
I was gonna invite you back on again, Sue, but I might not now. Jez, what's your top chip shop place in Norfolk?
Mary Jane's.
So this has been an ongoing thing between me and him, and then it's gone on to the Pinkin Forum as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just blown up, and you've just, I don't know.
Why would you pick Mary Jane's out of interest? Say, just for Morgan answers. What makes it so special?
Mainly because my mum and dad moved to Cromer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's so many memories. I mean, my son probably never saw any other seaside town because it meant I never had sand in my car or anything, because the bucket and spades got left at Nanny and Granddad's. He got showered down at Nanny and Granddad's. And it was always Mary Jane's that we always got our fish and chips from. Dad would walk down. Yeah. And actually, when I did Race Against the Sun and we were setting up, Mum and Dad's bungalow was one of the ones overlooking the car park and everything. So there's so many memories of the August when we went and saw the actual parades and everything. And that was the fish and chip shop. That was the in one at that time. That was the one that everyone went to. So
no, exactly. And that's the same for me. It's memories. It's the fact that, you know, we used to holiday a lot as children in Cromer, even though we lived in Norwich, obviously, at the time. But it's going there and queuing outside for 20 minutes because the queue is so big, and they taste so great as well. And I love the restaurant. It's Mary Jane's has got such a, not only does it taste great, it's got such a special place in my heart as well. So, you know, I was so pleased when you said Mary Jane's. But yeah, Morgan, sorry,
partly because you knew that it was gonna do that to me. I think it's good. Okay, I think it's good. I really like Lucy's on the Norwich market. Yeah. I've kind of gotten really back into Lucy's, and I can't believe we shout out to Mary Jane's and Lucy's. So you're getting free advertising. But I think for the price you pay, the quality of the chip and the sausage or fish. Actually, was there yesterday with a friend of mine. He's from Denmark, and he had fish and chips from Lucy's, and he ate everything, like the whole lot. Like there was nothing left. So I was like, did you enjoy that? He was like, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, it was really good. So Lucy's, or I haven't been to Wells. So in a while. So Wells, there's two there that are really good. But again, that's memories of going to Wells and going down that long road to the beach where the trees of pine forest are. I think that's what always reminds me of there. So yeah, but I love fish and chips, and that's that really.
Yeah. So just before we go, once again, thank you, and I hope you really enjoy the season, and good luck with all of your various activities that you do with the CSF. And perhaps just one more time, if you'd just like to just tell people how they can get involved if they want to.
Yep. You can either go online onto the Community Sports Foundation, or bring them up, or go in and see them at the nest. And I'm sure there'll be someone there that will help you. And everybody is so friendly there that they will certainly help you, and you will love it if you do volunteer, honestly. Excellent. It'll be something that once you start, then you're hooked. So please do. Please go and sign up to my club.
Excellent, no problem at all. So for everyone else listening, if you did enjoy this video, you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel for more great content. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can now watch and listen to the show on YouTube and all the various podcast platforms. I've been Jez Davies.
I've been Morgan Hewitt.
And I've been Sue.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend.